This sounds real good. I like this sound. Yo, what's up? I'm Docker for the Sample Kings, and the video you have right now is our Korg Triton video. It's hot, you're gonna love it. It's a lot of fun, great machine to use. We like it a lot with other modules, because we have a diverse sound going here. I hear so many sounds and so many instruments. I pick my basses and guitars from different instruments, but I do like the Triton. I use it with my MPC here in the studio, and a lot of today's producers are using the Triton or similar keyboard setups to make some of the hottest tracks you hear today. But you actually make it home yourself, and hopefully one day, sign that deal. With the commercials or movies, this machine's really cool. So, I could talk all day, and Lord knows you know I can. But look, let's just get busy and check this machine out. Oh, that beat. This is in the program section of our Triton keyboard. Here's the deal. We're going to show you the front, the back, the buttons to push, how they work, and then we're going to get busy and make a little song with you. So I want you to check this out. Yeah, right. Okay, before we start using our Korg Triton, we must hook it up. We got to put the left and right cable in, or put a mono cable in. Now here we have mono left. Now mono is for a single separate output, like to a guitar amp or to a separate amp. Left and right is for stereo. Here in Sample Kings, we prefer to use stereo. A lot of the sounds in our Korg Triton are stereo, and they sound really fat when they're in stereo. Now right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. These are individual outs. You can use these also along with the main left and right out to give you a total of 6 outputs. That's really cool. I like that. Here's my audio input. Now here, I can switch it from mic to line, mic to line. That's real cool. Now in line, I can take a source like a VCR, a CD player, even my MD player, and put it into here like this. 1 and 2 could be left and right. I can adjust the level with little thumb screws. See that there? Bam! I can go maximum, minimum. Really cool. But if I got a microphone, I need to make sure I'm in mic. Switch it to microphone. Let me get my mic out. This is a real cool mic I use all the time to take little samples here in the studio. Got my mic and my cable to my mic. Take the mic cable, plug it in, switch to mic, and we're ready to go. Hey, that's fat. Okay, this little half moon thing here, this little thumb screw is for your screen contrast. You can get your screen so you can see it if you're on an angle or looking straight at it. If you're playing a gig, you might want to contrast it this way. If you're looking down it, you might want to contrast this way. Check this while looking at your screen. Next, we're going to check out the assignable pedal. Now here, here's my cable, this is my pedal. This is my pedal, right there. Now this pedal, it functions like a volume control pedal, and it can be assigned in our global mode on our Triton. Next we have our favorite. Dave loves this thing. It's called a damper. It's really cool with keyboards. You can press the pedal and adjust the sensitivity of the keyboard. To learn further, read your manual. We're going to show you the Midi section of our Korg Triton. First, I've got my Midi in. The Triton can receive Midi information from another Midi instrument, like an MPC 60 or an MPC 2000 XL, or even from a Midi guitar. It'll take Midi information in and play back that information. We can also send Midi information out of our Triton. This information can be sent to another sequencer, even to another keyboard. We also have a Midi through. Now with the Midi through, it will take the information coming from the in and send it through to another instrument, like a MPC 4000, like another Triton keyboard, or any other Midi instrument that can receive Midi. Now here we have a host input. You can connect this to your computer and send Midi information and also settings for sounds right to your computer. Okay, it's important to make sure you hook up your Korg Triton properly. Make sure you check the power rating and it matches to the one in your household. Now here we have our on and off switch. I can turn it off and turn it on. And of course, I have my power right here. Make sure you use the proper plug-in power cord that came with your Triton. It's very important. You don't want to lose data or have a problem in your household.
Starting from left to right, we have our Sw1 and Sw2 keys. And basically these access on and off parameters of our combination, program, sequence, and sampling modes on our Triton keyboard. Next we have a joystick, and this moves in -X, plus Y, minus Y. And its function is determined by the program that you have selected in memory. For example, if I play this key, I can affect it by moving the joystick to the left. I can also affect it moving it to the right. Also, I can go down. There's a slight LFO happening there. And nothing, because this particular patch in our keyboard is not assigned to the positive Y axis of our joystick. Next we have our slider ribbon, which works by sliding your finger along its membrane. In addition to the output jacks on the back of our machine, we can also use our headphones by using this headphone jack located here on your front panel. Next we have our disk drive for loading in our fat samples off of one of our Sample Kings discs. Next we have our volume knob for adjusting the volume or output of our keyboard, followed by the real-time control button, which switches from A or B, that works in conjunction with our 4 knobs that gives us control for tone, Midi, and effects. Next we have our mode select section where we can select combination patches or single program patches. We can access the sequencer or our sampling mode or our song mode or our global button for affecting the overall performance of our Triton keyboard. Or we can access disk or our compare button. Now this button won't light unless you actually make a change to one of the programs in your keyboard. Next we have our data entry section, which consists of a volume knob and an up and down set of buttons. Now we use this value knob for incrementing in larger steps. We use the up and down buttons to increment data in smaller steps. Additionally, you can also change values on your keyboard by rotating this knob. Okay, each mode of our keyboard has a page number. When you hit exit, that'll always bring you back to page 0 of that particular mode. Now if you hit menu, that will access a page in your keyboard in any particular mode. You can also hold menu down followed by one of these numeric keys to the right, and you can jump to particular pages. Next we have program banks A through G. Now we can access A, B, C, D, E, F, and you can only get to F if you have the optional expansion card installed in your Triton, and G. Now G is special because we can access various modes in G, where we can pause, rewind, fast forward, locate to a particular part in our song or sequence, punch in, record, or out of record, and start or stop.
Now next, we have our arpeggiator section. Now this is really cool. You can, wow, that's just one note, but watch this. Whoa. Now I can change the tempo. Slow and fast. That's really cool. I can also change the gate. Now the gate shortens the actual sound. Or I can lengthen that sound. And I get my velocity knob. See, it get louder, gets more strength, more intensity. That's cool.
Cool, right?
No, that was great, man.
That was a bomb.
That was a bomb. Yeah, we went out to this restaurant early tonight and hung out, but the food was great and the prices were cheap. And imagine that for New York City. Wow, you wouldn't believe it. But anyway, what we're gonna do right now is take our Triton. It's all set up to go. We're gonna make a little song. So me, Dave, and Orlando, with the camera spinning so you can see what's going on, so it won't be such a static view like, oh, he's showing us as just a screen. Oh my God. And have a little fun and see how you can use the Triton so you can have some fun. Let's make a song. Let's show them how it's done.
First we go to our window and we pick a new song location. I'll choose song number 1. I'll set the length to 8, which I already have dialed in there. I'll click OK. And our screen updates to song number 1. Next, we'll go to track. We already had track number 1, so Dave just has to pick a sound for that location.
Okay.
Let's go with drums, Dave.
All right. Try a hip hop kick.
And we want to set our tempo. What do you want, Dave?
Set about 90.
Turn the wheel?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, what's our resolution? 16?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to change your resolution, you can pick it out from that menu there.
Okay.
We're already set for 16.
Yeah, 16's good.
And we can rehearse by hitting start stop to turn on our metronome. Okay, Dave. I stop. So we can practice without actually recording. And when we want to record, I'm going to set my sequence to the top of that particular part. And I'm going to hit record and start.
Okay.
So now we're counting down.
Damn, too fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you mess up, we can go over that.
How you do that, though?
So Dave just messed up, so we want to erase that. So I go to preference. And then we have options in recording. We can go to overwrite, overdub, manual punch in, auto punch in.
Right.
I'm going to go to overwrite and go back into program 1 through 8.
Let's overwrite that.
Okay, so now if we start from the top of our sequence, it'll erase all of that mistakes that we did before.
Got it. All right, let's stop it now. Let's try to record a drum part now since you erased that part. Hold it. All right, let's get a 2-bar countdown. Let Dave do his thing. 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Okay, Dave just played 4 bars, so I'm going to go into loop. Going to put a check in the box And we're looping from bar 1 to bar
Checking the
4.
box in track 1.
Yes. So I just dialed in a 4 there. And when I hit play,
Okay, so we're looping 4 bars in
it'll
essence.
keep looping and continue.
Okay.
So our next part is not limited to 4 bars. We can actually do 8, 16, or 24, and so on.
Okay, let's do the next bars then.
I'm going to hit stop, and we're going to set the next track up for recording. Go hit program 1 through 8, and we'll go to track 2. Now Dave just has to pick a sound. I'm going to go with a bass.
Get a bass line, Dave.
Okay. Start R&B.
Cool. That's okay, I see that.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go back to the top of our sequence. And I'm going to put him into record, and he'll play the next part.
I see. That's cool, Dave. All right, let's loop that.
I'm going to go into play loop 1 through 8.
Play loop 1 through 8.
Going to put a check in the box.
On track number 2?
Yes.
I get it now.
And he played 8 bars, so I'm going to dial in 8.
So now you're going to set the amount of bars here. So you can have different tracks, can be different loops, as long as they're looped to the right bar amount.
Correct.
I got it.
Now, we'll go back to program 1 through 8. And we'll go set up track 3 for our next keyboard part.
All right, let's hear that back. Oh, that sounds funky. All right, let's do something new. Let's do a keyboard or something. Huh?
Okay.
I'm going to hit stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring us back to the top of the sequence. I'm going to set up track 3, which is already set. Dave, just choose your part.
Let's see this one. Oh, I see. Dave picks that apart like that. Okay.
No. That's okay.
That's okay to select that part to fit in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Atlanta does something over
Okay.
here. What's he doing?
Now we're going to... We can go into rehearse by just putting on the metronome.
Let's rehearse it first and let us practice. See how this works. Can we rehearse with the music now?
Sure.
Let's try that.
I hit stop. And I'll just hit start.
Oh, I see.
I'm ready.
Okay, Dave's ready. Now what are you going to do? Hit stop over
I'm
there,
gonna take them
Orlando?
back to the beginning of the sequence.
Begin the sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put them into record.
Okay. Okay, let's loop that.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go into play loop. We'll put a check in the box on the keyboard.
On track number 4 or 3?
3.
Okay.
And we'll go to loop and measure.
Loop and measure.
And we'll make that 8 bars.
Oh, I see. Turn the jog wheel. Got it.
And then we can go back to program 1 through 8.
Let's play that straight through now. See how it works. What you can do now?
I'll hit start.
Oh, cool. And it's recorded. That's funky.
No.
Let's record one more part, okay, guys?
Mm-hmm.
One more part.
I'm with it.
Just for the old doctor here. Okay, stop it, Let's pick another sound.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to track 4.
Track 4, I see. Select the track first. Now Dave's going to pick apart
Bell system. And
bells.
where's that bell at? Let's see, let's try it inside. So right there.
Right there? Oh, that's cool. I like that bell. Get down. Okay, let's rehearse that part first, though.
Okay, I'll bring them back to the top of the sequence.
Top of the sequence using the jog wheel. And now I'll press
Start.
start.
My bad.
Hey, it's cool. We're just rehearsing now, so it's all good. Leave some space maybe in the part 2, I think. All right?
No problem. No problem.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
What you got over there? What you doing over there? Oh? You about ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Okay.
So I'll put them into record mode.
You see that right now? Stop that. I'm going to see that one more time. I'm going to get a good review of that. Let me see it again. Stop it all together. Now do the record mode.
I go into record. Right now it's not recording, it's just giving you a metronome. It
Okay.
won't start until I hit start.
I see. Nice, Dave. Perfect. Stop that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a real cool lesson, guys. Thanks a lot.
No sweat. We got it.
Right now is we're going to sample. We sampled some wine tonight. We're going to sample some sounds now. We're going to get some sounds and put them in there and sample with our Triton. It's a cool machine. You could sample in stereo or mono, and you can add an effect into the sample while you sample it in. That's kind of cool. So, look, I could talk, but I want to like sit back, digest some of this wine, and, do some more stuff for the video. Sample Kings, baby. First thing I want to do is turn my Triton on, just to make sure how much memory we have. We have SIM slots, and we can see here it's 16 megabytes. So we have 16 megabytes of memory for us to sample with. Next, we'll press our sampling button. Press the button for us, Dave. Now we're ready to start sampling. Now, we're going to open up our CD player, pop our Sample King CD in, close the player, and we're going to sample from the CD. Next, we'll hook it up. Okay, now we're going to make this very simple. We're going to sample from the phone set output. Use a Y cable. Okay, we'll plug it in right there. And next we'll take the other end, which contains left and right, and plug them to the back of our Triton. Okay, now we're going to take the other end of our Y cable and plug one into the one audio input, and then one into audio input 2. And now we're ready to receive our sample in our Triton. Okay, now we're going to do the input setup. Sample mode, we press input setup. Here's recording. Input setup. As you can see here, our level's at 127. Keep it there at your maximum. I prefer 127. That's a pan fully left. That's input 1. Now here, this is input 2, and the level is 127. That's the pan, which is set to all the way right. Now, in order for us to get audio into our Triton, we have to set our bus IFX select. We can go to here, and we have several options. We have left and right, IFX 1 through 5, and off. In this case, to hear our input, we must select left and right. Now you must always check your audio levels going in to your Triton, because the levels coming in once you select left and right can be very loud sometimes. Next, we'll select the bus IFX for input 2. Left and right. There we go. Now we can sample either manually or auto sample. Now in auto sample, we have to select a threshold level. As you can see there, we're set to minus 20 dB. We can increase that up to 0 dB. And you can see the little arrows here on our recording level dB meter move up and down. See it there? As we select our threshold level. In this case, I use maybe minus 10 dB. So when we start to sample, what happens is that once our sample breaks this level, our Triton will start to sample. It's the auto sampling mode. If we break it down to here, let's say to 36 dB, once it passes 36 dB, the sound will start the Triton to sample. That means the sound will pass the threshold level, causing the Triton, once set in auto record, to start recording. Now in manual, we do not have a threshold level. We start recording by pressing record, then start, and then hit stop again to stop recording. Now here we have our recording level. We can go from infinity to plus 18 dB. I'm going to set it back to 0. There you go. FX bus to left and right. We have bus IFX select for input 1 set to left and right, and input 2 set to left and right for our audio output. Next, we go to recording. Now here we can set the original key that our sample will be at when we play it back. Which original key you can see right there. And our top key will be B2. So our range of our sample will be from C1 to B2. And you can see that here on our keyboard. This area here that's blackened out is the range that our sample will be in, because we're taking a multi-sample, which is MS. You can also set a place where your sample can be at. You can either not assign it or assign the sample to be, let's say, at 3. Or we can not assign it. Now once you sample, the Triton will automatically put that sample at the first available space. Next, here on our record sample setup, we have the RAM bank. Now this represents what we showed you in the beginning. We have that Sims chip in, and we have 16 megabytes. Well, here we have one RAM chip in, nothing else is in, so we know we have 16 megabytes of RAM. And we can see our sample time here in our record sample setup is set to 174 seconds. Well, that's too many. I just want to bring them down and get maybe about a 20-second sample going here. Next, we have our sample mode. We can have a left mono, a right mono, or a stereo. We want stereo. Okay, now next, I want to probably get some samples to go into our Triton. I'm going to press play on my CD player. Now we don't see a WAV file yet. we're going to press record, and now we can see the levels. Just want to make sure we get optimum levels going into our Triton. As you can see, we've got some sounds going in there. Now, if we want to record a sample with some effects, we can do this. We can pick IFX1 for input 1, IFX1 for input 2. Next, we can press the menu button, press insert effect. Here's IFX1. Now I'll move this around. Pick a cool effect I want to use. Let's look for a nice effect I would like. Now I'll put it on. See that? Now we have a little effect. A little reverb there. See that? It's like a delay. Oh, here's a. Hear that? That's a stereo flange. So we can sample into our Triton, add an effect in the sampling process, and we could save that sound with an effect to it. And one more thing. Now we have a pre-trigger record, and that's in milliseconds. This will help us to get the little sound prior to the actual sample going into our Triton. When we go to threshold level, we don't want to cut off anything we're going to miss in the sample. We want to make sure when we do sample, we get everything. So here, we can add a few milliseconds up to 500 milliseconds right in front of our sample. So it'll start sampling 355 milliseconds prior to the record. What's called our pre-trigger record. Okay, next, I want a sample. So my level looks good to me, I'm ready to sample. Now, I've got everything set up. I want to probably press the right button to sample. Okay, we press start to sample. And we can press start, stop to stop sampling. Now we're ready to sample. I'm gonna probably start sampling right now. We're gonna press our start, stop. And press stop to finish. Okay, once we have our sample, we'll press our menu button. Next, we'll select Edit Sample. Now here in Edit Sample, we can see the waveform, but just barely. We can go ahead and zoom. See the waveform get bigger so we can see it? And we can zoom out a little bit more. And here we can see our edit range start. And you can see I hit my keyboard and I'm playing the sample back. I can trigger the sample here and I'm ready to go. Now, I'll select the end range. Move my data wheel. Then go ahead to the front. Get the right size of my range. And to actually zoom in, I'll zoom in from here so I can get real close to where that beat starts off at. I want to make sure I'm right up on it. I want to come right in with the beat. Got my sample in, my beginning and my end. I'll zoom back out so we can see it. Now I can go to Edit Range End, and then I could zoom and get the ending right. I want to get as close as possible. Turn my data wheel back a little bit so I can get right up on the end of the sample. I don't want to miss anything. I want to make sure the sample, when I hit the loop, I want to loop it, I can loop it. Or if I just want to hit it and go from the beginning of the sample to the end, I want the exact amount I'm going to use. I'll zoom back out just so I can look at my entire sample. That looks pretty good. And now, we see the end, we see the front. Oh, this is really cool. And now, I can play the sample. And it ends at the point I want it to end at. And it starts at the point I want to start from. I can move a little closer here, I feel. Get right up on that beat. See? And we have the exact beginning of our sample. Well, now we've got our sample. Sometimes you want to loop a sample, whether it's a horn or a beat or whatever. Well, we'll press Menu, and we'll press P2 for Loop Edit. We go to Loop Edit, and here we can zoom back out. Oh yeah. Or we can zoom in and get the full size of our sample and look at our sample. We want to see what we're going to actually put together here. Now here we have our entire waveform. We want to set our loop start. As you can see, it's the same time as our regular start. And we want to set the ending. We'll press the end here, and we'll see the end bar move up there to the end. We want to zoom in again in our loop edit window and get the exact ending we want. So we're right on top of it. See it move right up on it? We're getting closer and closer. We're going to pick the end that we want to use in our sample. And here we're at the end. Perfect. Now I can put my loop on by pressing loop on. And hold down the key within the key range. Here's the key range. I'm hitting any key in here. And we can loop our sample. Okay, now we got our sample. We can see how we can loop it. Now we have our sample. We've seen how we can loop the sample and how we can edit our sample. We edited first, then we decided we want to loop it, we looped it. Well, you want to use the sample along with the sounds already in the Triton. You may have a bunch of kicks and snares and put them in a program. Here's how you would do it. And also other options like deleting a sample or copying a sample. We can press the recording tab. And here we can delete our sample. We can also copy the sample. We can rename the sample. We can delete the multi-samples. These are multi-samples right here, and rename them. We can convert a multi-sample into a program. We can turn a multi-stereo sample into a mono sample. We can go to keyboard display. We can move sample or move the multi-sample. Now in this case, we want to go to convert our multi-sample in a program. The other features are already self-explanatory, and you can read your manual for that. Delete is delete and copy is copy. It's very simple. But I want to use the sample I made up just now and put it in a program. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to menu. I don't want to loop it. So I'm going to go to edit, loop edit, turn loop on off. Go back to menu. Check my sample edit. Just want to make sure I'm going to sample it. I want to make sure my sample's there. It's not going to loop. All right, hit it. It's not looping. I go to menu. I can go back to recording. Now anywhere in P0 to P4, we have our record tab. And we can go here and we can convert this sample to a program. Now in this case, on our keyboard, in the program bank, E is for the sampling. Here I have a waveform. I can put it in this program right here. I'll press OK, and this new sample will appear in that program. Are you sure? I'll press OK. And we can now use that sample in our program bank on our Triton. Okay, now menu button. Jog wheel. Left. Okay, menu button with lights. Exit button. Now, we're going to show you how some of these sounds sound and what you can do. Now, some of them you can actually use your arpeggiator section. There'll be drums on those sounds, and you can play on top. We're going to audition sounds and pick what we want to use and show you some other ways you can use your Triton. Yo, what's up? That's hot, right?
Yeah, that was real hot, man.
I was feeling that was good. I was feeling that was good. That was good. I'm feeling that, kid.
Yeah, we're gonna be
She
all
sounded
right.
good today, y'all.
Sure did.
Y'all should have heard her. Anyway, look. Our next thing we're going to do today is we're going to show you how you can use your MPC 2000 XL, let's say, or another sequencer or whatever you got, a computer software, record the MIDI data out of your Triton, send it into the sequencer, and then the sequencer will store that data, all the chord stuff you played, and then it'll send it back to the Triton. This way, the Triton is what we call a module. It's really cool. We're going to play the sounds, store them on another sequencer, and trigger the sounds in the Triton. Let's do this. MIDI cable, get it ready. One going in, one going out. Real cool. One out of here into our MPC 2000 XL, or into your sequencing software, or your MPC, or whatever you got for sequencing. And then one out the MPC. We're gonna make a few tracks. Check it out. You know, I'm gonna be up here hitting the MPC with the Triton. We got a Triton right here. We got our MPC 2000 XL. We're going to send MIDI data from our Triton into our MPC 2000 XL. And we're going to record a sequence. I'm making some drum patterns. My man Dave here, Diggity Dave Patterson, he's going to throw some stuff down. Now, let's try some beats. Okay, I got mine here. That one on track number 2. For my drums on track 1 on my MPC. The MIDI data is being recorded into my MPC 2000 XL. We're using the Triton just for the sounds. It's not sequencing. We're playing the sound stack for the Triton. We call this MIDI loop. We have MIDI out of the Triton into the MPC, and then MIDI out of the MPC into the Triton. I like that one.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Let's try a keyboard.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah, man. Oh, man. So how's your girl doing?
Yeah, she's doing fine, man.
She keep calling up here stopping us.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
I know what you're doing. Dave's working it over here. So look, we want to get busy before she calls again. Check it out. Hip hop lead. And play the sound with it for us, Dave. Okay, cool. Well, now, as you can see here, we're in the program section, and this is sound 44. At the bottom here, we can see like octave, pitch stretch, oscillation balance. We also have amp level. We have this attack time. We got decay time.
It sounds like on a low tip.
Let's try that. What's this going to be?
This is going to be a low octave.
Low octave. Oh, I see we can change the octave of that particular program.
Right, I'm going to bring it up.
Okay. All right, put it back to normal. Let's go to that pitch stretch, or whatever that is.
So
Yeah.
go down first and start down.
Let's see. Turn the jog wheel. Oh, I see. It's like the bending here.
Yeah, hit the modulation. Okay, let's go back up.
Okay. What's the next parameter there? The oscillation balance?
Mm-hmm.
Let's try that.
That's what it sounds like up. Light at the touch.
Let's go to oscillation balance now.
There we go. This is the normal. Go down.
Oh, I see. Doesn't oscillate as much.
Mm-hmm.
More the true tone of the sound.
Exactly. I'm gonna go up. See how bright it is.
Oh, yeah. Much more broad oscillation.
Right on.
Okay.
Go to the amp level.
Try the amp. That's probably amplification, right?
Yeah. See as I hit it.
Yeah, I see.
It goes down. Right there it is.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I get it.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to attack time.
attack time.
That's that button right there. We're gonna go start from the low part first.
I see. So hold it down. Now put it down low again. Oh, I see. The attack slowly rises back up into the sound, and so the attack time is either up or down. I got it.
So here's the low and a down tip.
Let's try the decay time now.
Oh, okay. Let's start from the low. Let me hold the note down or something.
Oh yeah, let's see how it works. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay, increase or lower the decay time. So as you can see, we can change some of the parameters of a program here in our performance editor on our Triton keyboard. Thanks a lot, Dave.
You got it, man.
I hope you learned a lot from us today. At least some stuff. Of course, you know, we're sitting up here, we take our time, do our videos, so you can learn how to get busy. We shoot section by section, but look, we want you to enjoy yourself. Remember, when you're doing music, it's like being an artist. You are creating stuff. Don't try to listen to anybody on the radio. Create your own sound. Make your sound come alive. Always when making tracks. Otherwise, check us out at the website, samplekings.com, baby. I'll see you in the next video. Later. Let's go check that guy out. He thought he had a bad studio, huh?
Yeah.
We got the studio.
We got the bad stuff. Yeah,
Let's go
man.
check him out. Hey, what's up? My name is Doc, and I'm one of the Sample Kings. I want to thank you, first of all, for purchasing our videotape. We thank you very much for the support. We hope you enjoyed it, and it was very informative. I got something special for you. Check this out. This is my own personal collection of all my fattest samples. I love it. I got horns, bass drums, hi-hat, snare drums. These are just kicks. Here's some cuts, guitars, tons of samples. I use them all over the years, from old school to new school, you name it, I've done it and been there and do more. And I got the new extra school stuff. Well, I got something for you. What's I got for you? These are our samples. I've taken all my samples and made them available for you to get, to purchase in stores, or to even buy from our website at samplekings.com. We also make zip discs. If you get yourself a zip disk drive, you're gonna love our zip disc. Now a zip disk can hold up to 70 of these discs. So you know, this disc is power packed. Well look, I want to thank you again, and get back to work. Any problems, just call us at samplekings.com. Alright baby, let's do it again. The background's a hot, but I'm feeling it.